We're back with another episode of Your Palm Beach Guide. I'm Doug Evans, President and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, where it's always a beautiful day in Palm Beach. I'd rather have one rainy day in Palm Beach than 10 sunny days anywhere else, quite honestly. And I can say that as the Chamber of Commerce because I fully believe it. We always have interesting guests, and typically it's somebody even more so now than before, who actually is a native of the area. With me today is Greg Quattlebaum. And for the people who are locals here, Quattlebaum is synonymous with Quattlebaum Family Funeral Homes. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. So Greg, welcome to the show. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, we've got a wonderful organization called the Quantum House here in Palm Beach County on the grounds of the St. Mary's Hospital campus. And what I want you to tell me what they do, and then I'm going to ask you an interesting question about how it got started, because the way, when we talk about Quantum House, and I want you to tell me what you folks do, I typically think of something like a Ronald McDonald House, which we do not have here, which is fine because we have our very own Quantum House. So,
right.
Greg, talk to me about, what you did before you got into Quantum House briefly,
Okay.
and then get right into the Quantum House.
Okay. Before getting to Quantum House, my trajectory in my life kind of zigged and zagged a little bit. As you mentioned, most of my life was with Quattlebaum Funeral Home, our family-run business. And then I had an opportunity a number of years ago to become the executive director of Leadership Palm Beach County.
That's correct.
And then this opportunity came up, and I'm the CEO at Quantum House now, and the stars lined up, and it is an absolutely beautiful place, and a place I just love to be.
So tell me about Quantum House. What does Quantum House do, and where did the name Quantum come from? Because I know the answer, but our listeners don't know the answer. So
Okay.
talk about the genesis of how this got started.
Yeah.
You're going to celebrate your 25th anniversary sometime here soon, but how it got started, why it's called Quantum, and give me the history of the organization.
Okay, a little bit of history. I'll start. It is our 25th anniversary coming up in 2026, but our mission has always been true to serving the needs of the families in the pediatric realm. As you mentioned, we're near St. Mary's, but what we do in very, very simple terms is that we lessen burdens for families who are in Palm Beach County receiving medical care for their children. So you mentioned the analogy of a Ronald McDonald House, and most people do identify that model, but we are our own 501c3. And going back 25 years ago, there was an unmet need. St. Mary's Medical Center had a very high-level NICU, and they still are leaders in that NICU realm. But there was no place for the families to stay or be close to their children or keep their families together. So 25 years ago, the unmet need was met by the Junior League of the Palm Beaches.
The Junior League of all.
Junior League of the Palm Beaches put together this initiative to help these families. So the idea was we're going to meet with the people like Ronald McDonald House who understand that model. And they did. And they realized after talking to them that everything that we needed to do, we could do right here in our community. Our community would support this. We would not need to be part of the Ronald McDonald Group, and we could do it ourselves. So as they went out for support in the community, the Quantum Foundation was the lead gift in that. And that's where the name Quantum House comes from. And it's still to this day confusing when people say, oh, so-and-so's on your board. And I say, no, that's Quantum Foundation.
Sure.
And with Eric Kelly, he'll get that all the time. And he'll say, that's Quantum House. And so that's where the name comes from. It is actually from that lead gift 25 years ago.
How much was that lead gift?
You know what? I don't exactly remember.
Had to be a lot of money.
I don't remember. Well, this is 25 years ago. And the house was a lot smaller than it is now.
Was the house on the grounds of St. Mary's at that time also?
We do. We are on the grounds. We're on the perimeter. And
but was that original house on the grounds of St. Mary's also?
They built it from scratch, and it was 10 rooms.
No kidding.
So now we've expanded to 30 suites. We have a huge compound, probably 30,000 square feet, and it becomes a home away from home for these families coming to stay here. They may stay a week, 2 weeks. They may stay 2, 3, 4 months, depending on the extent of the care they're receiving. So we offer everything that they could need to have their home, to bring them some normalcy in a very, very difficult time.
So you've got 30 suites.
30 suites.
Basically, where people who are receiving medical care, at just St. Mary's or anywhere?
It's anywhere. It is anywhere.
Okay. I realize it was only tied to St. Mary's or not, but
right.
But
it's not. I will say though that we are on the perimeter, the back perimeter of St. Mary's, and it made sense, and it still makes sense to be that close to St. Mary's. I will say that we should, and we're talking about Chamber of Palm Beach County, the Chamber. We should be very, very proud. Palm Beach County has become a medical destination.
Really?
30 years ago, Doug, if you would have asked me, where do I go for good medical care?
I was here 40 years ago. What's the first thing you do when you get sick? You go to the airport.
Go to the airport.
Exactly.
Okay. Not anymore. They're flying in here.
No kidding.
No different than Wall Street South, the great medical care, the specialties are realizing it doesn't snow down here. Mm. And so all of these great practices are coming from the Northeast and are establishing themselves down here. St. Mary's, I know this isn't a St. Mary's talk, but they have several high-level pediatric initiatives. So let's say they have they're one of two trauma hospitals. In Palm Beach County.
I knew. I've been there.
Yeah, they have the highest level of NICU and PICU care, and they're actually taking it up a notch. They're pursuing a higher designation, which I didn't even know existed. Come to find out, there are a few in the state, which is going to expand our footprint of need. They have the pediatric specialty in the orthopedic realm,
which is the Paley Institute
is there, and so that footprint expands to being literally worldwide, world renowned.
Well, the Paley Institute, which I have been a recipient of their care, mm-hmm. has more than 100 countries.
Yes,
have come to St. Mary's campus to be treated by the Paley Institute, which is orthopedics and spine.
Right.
Ortho and spine. So I know that.
Right.
And when I was in physical therapy at the Paley Institute, and I want to get back to you, continuing a story, I saw a lot of children there.
Yes.
A lot of children for me, it was hard to watch because these look like devastating illnesses to me. But those young children, they seem so happy. They
are happy. And the Quantum House is the happiest place to be. It is absolutely amazing to see that. And I tell myself that I need to be in the presence of families and people like that. So I gained some of that strength. And I'm like, where does this optimism, where does this just joy and happiness come from? And as I've observed, Yogi Berra says you can observe a lot by just watching. And I said, what I've observed is that their happiness, their outlook comes from an authentic, deeply rooted sense of gratitude. Mm. And they live in that world. And there's so much to be learned. We all complain about things and things get us down. And there's a lot to be learned by that.
Well, there is. I mean, we can complain about everything around us, whether it's traffic or whatever, those kinds of things. But with St. Mary's, who I'm a fan of, by the way, I know the kind of care that they get there. But, it occurred to me when I first learned about Quantum House, if you've got this child that something has happened from outside the market where they could not get the medical care they need, the families have got to stay someplace.
That's right.
And I've not seen, one thing I know that you're going to do more of is more publicity about what the experience is like to stay there, because I've seen this from the Ronald McDonald perspective,
right, and
about the success stories kind of thing. So for you, it's just, there's 30 suites. Are those suites, do they have a little kitchen? Or are they just 2 bedrooms, or what are they?
No.
What do you get there?
This is one of the things that makes Quantum House so magical is its communal living.
Okay.
It's communal living. Of all the things that we offer them, I think one of the greatest benefits is socialization. And so
is that uncomfortable for people sometimes or not?
No, well, I will say that communal living is not for everybody.
Right.
But the people who stay there, just to have interaction with others, and possibly and quite often interact with someone who is on a similar journey. I mean, where they came from, they had a very unique problem or situation, but they can come and they can interact and talk with each other and really talk parent to parent and siblings, and learn best practices and help them get through that. That's socialization. That's why it's so important. So what we do in that, we have, like in most houses, or at least mine, my house revolves around the kitchen.
Yes.
And so that's no different at Quantum House. We have a beautiful kitchen that is quite large, and beautiful dining spaces where the families gather for meals. And so they don't cook in their rooms.
Okay.
We don't have kitchens or anything like that, but we have a day kitchen in one area just for their morning time. And then we have a full-size kitchen, which actually is very much an important part of Quantum House. And we can talk about how the community gets engaged with Quantum House and where it comes in.
And I'll go down that path with you. If you are just kind of tuning in, quote unquote, I'm Doug Evans, President and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. This is your Palm Beach Guide. I'm with Greg Quattlebaum today, who is the CEO of the Quantum House, which, if you're not sure what that is, think of Ronald McDonald House, which is nationwide. But Quantum House, as Greg said, is our very, very own local organization. So you've got the common denominator of all these folks have a sick child.
Right.
So that's right there, a bonding experience where they can come because a mom needs to talk to another mom.
Yes.
Or a dad, another dad, or the kids are there and they need to understand that they're in a safe space. So you've got this communal kitchen, and I agree with you, depending on who you are. My life revolves around the kitchen also, and it's great. So tell me about how that works. Do you cook the meals? Do people? How does all that work with Quantum House?
Well, the families come in and they have access to the kitchen. So when they come through our doors, they don't worry about where they're going to eat or the kitchen space or where they're going to sleep. Where am I going to wash my clothes? Where am I going to be active? We take care of all those things. So we have this large kitchen space, and the families are in there cooking during the day, and they, breakfast and throughout the day. It's just like their home. They have their own pantries. We have refrigerator space for them and everything. And depending on how long they stay, they become, this becomes their home. But what is very, very interesting and unique to Quantum House is a program that is called Chef for a Day.
Oh.
And Chef for a Day is we have, I am just in awe of our community and just in how much they give. Palm Beach County, we are blessed. But every day, a different group of people in the community. It could be businesses for team building. It could be other nonprofits. It's just organizations, faith-based organizations. They come in and they sign up and they come in and they prepare dinner for the families. And we're talking, 60, 70, 80 people sometime at dinner. And there is one group after another, and they come in and they just enjoy being there. And they come and they will oftentimes come back. They'll be on a regular schedule.
Do they bring the food that they're going to prepare?
They bring everything.
They take care of everything.
It is a surprise every night.
I love
Dinner
that.
is a surprise every night.
I love that.
And so, and we also have just started, we're crawling with it, just a little program we called Rooted in Wellness. And what we're trying to do is instill a mindset of healthier eating as well. Because the families appreciate everything. They are so grateful. And the people that are bringing the food love to feed them. But what happens so often is everybody thinks comfort food. When you're bringing something, comfort food.
Somebody's sick, somebody's ill.
Somebody's sick, somebody's ill.
You show up at the casserole.
And in 30 days, you can put on 30 pounds.
Right.
That's why we have a gym. That's why we have all those things. And and everybody brings desserts. And
But there's something loving about that.
Oh, my, it is absolutely amazing. And it is. And that's how people want to give of themselves. They want to bring comfort food. So what we do is we implement this Rooted in Wellness, and we're creating like a little mini pantry of just, if you come in, grab a bag of cutie oranges.
Healthy snacks.
And just, and they disappear. I mean, apples,
And do you buy all that stuff for the pantries?
Well, we do fill a pantry.
Okay.
We have a pantry that the families can use anything in there, and we keep it stocked with just an array of things. It could be olive oils. It could be cans of food, because they may run short or they just may need anything. Anything that's there is theirs to use. So, but as we start to develop a Rooted in Wellness pantry, we want that to become a community initiative as well. That if you're coming to prepare a dinner and you're out shopping, grab a little bag of apples, throw a couple extra onions in there. And because the families are there cooking, and it just kind of helps because they can't always get out and shop and everything. But
what does it cost for a family to stay with you? Is it needs based? Is there a way of determining that, or is it?
Well, it's very modest. We have what we call it is a recommended donation. Because people ask, they want to contribute, they want to be a part of it because they're not always used to receiving. So we have a recommended donation of $45 a night.
Wow.
And
that's for a mom, a dad, two kids, and whatever it is, right?
It's exactly right. And
that's amazing.
And again, we take care of all their needs, but there are a lot of families that can't do that.
Yeah.
And so we just move right on through. And some people can and want to do it. Sometimes we'll receive donations for families that come from their church group back home and things like that. And many, many families never see an invoice at all. We have that $45 a night because when we have events, and you're familiar with like a call from the heart.
Yes.
Well, we call them room nights. And so that is the basis for anybody wanting to make a donation is we use like that $45 a night.
I love that
as an idea. And if somebody wants to buy 10 room nights or something, it just makes some sense.
Well, Greg, what makes that nice is it makes it feasible for just the regular donor.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That somebody can't afford a $10,000 gift, but they can afford a $450 gift.
Exactly.
And that's 10 nights, and nobody feels guilty for staying there for free. And it's to me, that's so moving. It's
exactly. And you touched on that about giving. So we don't receive any federal funding or anything. And I'm telling you, Quantum House is an absolutely beautiful place. And I mentioned earlier that I'm humbled by it. I'm in awe of just the pure goodness and generosity of this community who give just for the sake of giving. Mm. And they come and they see and they support what they see going on there. And it is just, it's amazing.
Do you get any money from the hospital? Any support from the hospitals or the corporations?
Well, what we do, we have community partnerships.
Okay.
And like St. Mary's is a community partner, but I think that where they help us out a lot is, we are sitting on their property and they do charge us $1 a year. So, I have to walk that across campus and hand deliver it.
I'll give you $10. That'll take care of the next 10 years. Right?
Exactly. There you go. That's right. So,
but what's your annual operating budget, Greg?
We're just shy of $2 million.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the community, the support is just amazing. And as you mentioned, because everybody feels a part of Quantum House, whether they're serving a meal or the groups come in, because we live by volunteers. We're only a staff.
Well, I know
6.
the Palm Beach young professionals from the Chamber of Commerce have come over there and done events.
They do dinner, and sometimes they come and they play board games or they play outside things. We have putting greens and things that where people give of themselves. And yes, we do have community partners, but to your point, we also have the Friends of Quantum House, and it's a very modest monthly giving. $10 a month, $25 a month. Somebody's like, I can do that, and that makes a meaningful impact.
Of course,
and they're also they feel very connected to Quantum House. So. You're right. I mean, it could be very modest, but it helps.
Well, to me, it's interesting because it's simple math. It's like if you give $10 a month, which you could give, that's $120. That's 3 nights for somebody to stay there.
Yeah,
that's 3 nights,
right.
And that's to me, simple math works for me sometimes. Because when you go out to solicit a donor or donate, say, your $500 is 10 nights for a family who could not afford to be here otherwise.
That's exactly right.
And a $2 million operating budget. I know that you've got a small staff also.
Yeah.
You are very, very lean. So it's not going to the overhead. It's going directly to the families who are in need. And are you 100% full all the time?
No, not really. The summers are busy when people have elective opportunities.
That I know for a fact.
Then they come and they bring their siblings because there's families back home, and so we have more people in the house, even though we still have the same 30 rooms. So we have such a dynamic mix of people that come in through trauma, that come in through the designated pediatric ER, the NICUs, the PICUs. Those things, people's lives change with a blink of an eye. So we don't know, that when they're coming in. And we also have, with the orthopedic work, those are people that make appointments and schedules for surgeries, and they travel. So to an extent, we do know about some appointments that are coming and reservations that they have, but there are spaces available because there's things happening every night.
And do you have allied services like counseling if they need counseling? Do you have ways of directing people places? Because I know with your background, you probably had cases there in your tenure where the child has not survived.
Right. That's exactly right.
And that's got to be very, very hard. So yes. I would assume that there's some kind of a resource to help people in other ways more than just shelter and food.
Right. So I mentioned that we stay true to our mission. And so where we don't provide counseling in-house.
Right.
We don't provide chaplain services in-house. The needs are so diverse that their connections are made professionally in our community.
Great.
And it could be, I use faith-based as an example. We have, I remember the family that came here for an extended period of time, probably 3 or 4 months, and they've been before and they'll come again. And they immediately connect with their St. Catherine's Greek Orthodox Church family.
Perfect.
And they become very involved. So we don't offer, we are their place of respite. There is no PT, no physical therapy. There's no white coats, anything. This is where
it's a home.
It's a home.
Period.
And when they go to St. Mary's on the other side of the hill, that's where they get amazing clinical care. Okay? But when they come back to us, so they get their medical treatment there, I will say that they come to our place to heal. And I hear that from families. This is where they come to heal. And but we don't offer any kind of counseling services or anything like that. But most of the counseling that goes on is on the sofas when moms are sitting talking together and supporting each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And of all the things that I could provide them in the comforts of home, we cover everything. But what they provide each other is just magic. And that happens organically.
I love It's Just Magic. We're going to end on that.
Okay.
It's Greg Quattlebaum, who is the CEO of the Quantum House here in beautiful West Palm Beach on the grounds of St. Mary's. If you want to, what's the website for the Quantum House?
It's www.quantumhouse.org.
That's perfect. That's easy.
Yeah.
Phone number?
Well, 561, let me think about that, 454-0515.
I love it. I love it. Celebrating 25 years. Congratulations on that. I'm so glad. You've been in the position a couple of years now?
It's almost 2 years.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun.
I've been on the board since 2013.
I love that. I love it. It's great. So, Greg, thanks for coming in today, and hopefully people will see this or hear this, and maybe we'll get somebody who can pay for a couple of nights at Quantum House.
That would be great.
This is Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. You've been listening to Your Palm Beach Guide, where we try to bring you behind the scenes of all the great stuff that happens in our county and in our towns and on the island with great people like Greg Quattlebaum, who runs the Quantum House. Make it a great day. Tune in every Wednesday. We drop a new episode every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcast or on YouTube. Check us out. And thanks for being with us today.